We are here at the BOBST booth, which is a fantastic, beautiful booth with a lot of BOBST equipment, obviously. But what I think is always more interesting than equipment is, of course, the people. And I have the pleasure of talking to my good friend Matteo. Matteo, super nice to see you again.
Nice to see you, Martin. Really.
I remember.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. I remember when I met you for the first time. That was in Atlanta, precisely. I was actually, I wouldn't say that I was surprised, but I think we had a very good conversation about a lot of different things. If you look at BOBST as a company and your role in this industry here, tell me a little bit how you think, because I mean, you have a long history, but you have also a very, very nice position in the present, right?
Yes, sure. Let's say BOBST, I will start from BOBST. Now, I think we show with this, let's say, latest development that today we are an established supplier in the digital and the label industry. We are not anymore like a newcomer with 100 plus digital machine installed, which we touched last month. With, let's say, all this fantastic innovation that we are, let's say, presenting today at LabelExpo, I think I'm really proud to, let's say, drive and manage the business of label for BOBST. It's really an exciting moment for that.
When we started this morning, I met a guy that I interviewed, Doran from Label Printers in South Africa. Interviewed a year ago, I think, actually. And he said that he was actually going to LabelExpo to see digital equipment.
Yes.
And I said, do you mean digital or do you mean hybrid, right? So, I mean, you deliver both solutions, right?
Yes.
So where do you see the trends? Is it mainly towards hybrids or mainly towards digital right now?
Let's say they can live together. Of course, there are applications from one side and there is also customer setup from the other. Up to a couple of years ago, digital was mainly roll-to-roll and then offline finishing, because with the, let's say, technology that was there until that moment, that was the only way to go. Now, with the speed that, let's say, an inkjet press can achieve, it starts to be, let's say, less efficient to go that way and much more efficient to do everything in one pass. But on the other hand, there are still companies that already have the finishing, so they need maybe just the printing. Therefore, I think they will continue to live for a while. In certain application will be for sure much more easier to go only one, we call it. So hybrid, but all coming from the same supplier. And in other, instead, they will continue to buy, let's say, roll to roll. Like in other, someone will continue to, in certain application, will continue to buy Flexo because the TCO, it's much more convenient. So the beauty to be, let's say, in BOBST is that at the end we can provide all these solutions. So we don't have to choose between technology.
That's one thing. Another thing I can't help thinking about, when I was in your Florence office just a year ago, it was, I mean, that was when you started the one ECG approach, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, with the ECG, you basically eliminate at least a majority of the job changes where you have to clean down the machine, wash down the machine, and change ink on it, and you have a wider color gamut on. But that is also because if you look at the Mouvant branded machines, they are also like ECG capable, right? So that conversion of, let's say, the color space, having it both in Flexo and in digital, is that part of the strategy, or?
Yeah, actually, the one ECG started 1 year ago, but is that the evolution of what was the Revo project, so the expanded color gamut project that we started probably now almost 10 years ago. And yes, we took that from the digital. So because if the customer can accept to print all the job just in 7 color in digital, they can do it also in Flexo, just as you said. And there are advantage in terms of setup time, in terms of waste. There are many advantages in doing so. And we achieve a lot of, let's say, less waste, and therefore the sustainability aspect of this kind of solution it's really important.
I can't help think about, because I have visited quite a few Flexo printers during the years, of course, right? And I think that it seems that there are converters that are really interested in the ECG perspective.
Yes.
And then you have like I wouldn't say conservative, but I would say somebody who is a little bit more cautious or nervous about the change to ECG compared to having the specific Pantone colors or spot colors to some. How do you see it from a BOBST perspective? Is there a movement to ECG, or is it like two silos?
No, let's say, I understand why some people have a concern, because with ECG, you are moving the color matching from the press, so the production, to the pre-press. Therefore, converters that have not maybe a strong pre-press department, they see it as a potential problem to do that, because they understand that it's a change of, let's say, mindset also in the company. But at the moment that they go to digital, they have the same issue as well, because also in digital, in the production you press a button, but in the pre-press you need to be able to create the job. So there is, again, a really, let's say, the two things talk each other, and I don't see for any converter looking forward, let's say, the possibility to be and to grow if they don't invest in pre-press and therefore then enable themselves to use digital and ECG.
And that is, of course, because the market changes for more variable data on the digital side, yes, and shorter print runs, which is also, I mean, I was actually quite amazed because for the people that know in the commercial print where you have like very fast turnaround time on plates,
yes,
you basically offer that on sleeves with some, I think it's M5 or M6 machine.
Yes, M6.
M6, yeah, where you basically can change sleeves while it's running, so you can have the next job ready.
Yes.
And that, of course, makes a lot of sense when you have the ECG, because you don't have to wash it down. You can just continue. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. In that sense, this feature really helps because it eliminates drastically the, let's say, the number one muda or waste, that is the time of waiting and changing the job, doing it in 1 minute while the press is still running automatically is, of course, a huge step forward.
And a very good selling argument for selling such a press, right?
Yes, of course.
Of course. Thank you.
Nice.
And by the way, I look forward to see you at the non-event.
Oh, yes.
That
I'm
would be
really
exciting.
looking forward to
it. It will be fun. I guarantee that. Thank you.
Yeah.